Our next section in chapter 8, this is where we actually start the trig part. Okay, we're going to start with the tangent ratio and then we'll go to sine and cosine next. All right, so now you really need to focus in and make sure you understand what this all means. All right, the tangent. This is given a right triangle, so you have a right triangle, you've got legs and hypotenuse. So the tangent ratio of A is the length of the leg opposite A over the length of the leg adjacent to A. So if you have a right triangle, we'll just draw one in here, and we'll say this is angle A. That's the one we're talking about. Then the leg opposite A is over here, so we'll put opposite here. And the leg adjacent to A is the one that's right next to it. The hypotenuse is not used in tangent. Okay, so pick out your hypotenuse and ignore it if you're doing tangent. So abbreviated, we say tan A equals opposite over adjacent. You're going to learn what those keys on your calculator are actually used for. Okay, so let's try a few of these because this is a lot different. You've never done this before. So tangent ratios for T and U. So we'll do tangent T. So here's T. Opposite is 3. Adjacent is 4. The hypotenuse is 5, so we ignore it. That's the tangent ratio. All right, if we do tangent U, so let's get rid of this, and let's circle U. Then opposite U is the 4, and adjacent to U is 3. Now you see how we used the two angles that aren't the right angles, and their tangents were reciprocals of each other? That will happen all the time. Okay? So just kind of be aware of that. Start looking for stuff like that. Okay. Tangent ratios for K and J. So tangent of K, start with K. Opposite is 3. Adjacent is 7. So you do opposite over adjacent. And then tangent J. Knowing what we know from the last slide, it should be 7 over 3, right? So let's check it. So from J, the opposite is 7, the adjacent is 3. So that's 7 over 3. And how are they related? They are reciprocals. Not opposite reciprocals, just reciprocals. Okay? You won't have negatives in this. Alright. Now we're going to get into how to find this, and I'll remind you of this when we get to class. Okay, we're going to find the measure of W. So we're going to set up an equation using the tangent to figure out what W is. You always do tangent of an angle. So everything's based off of the angle. Okay, so we do tangent 54 because that's our angle. And now we want everything opposite adjacent to be from that angle. So from the 54, W is the opposite, and 10 is the adjacent. So we go opposite over adjacent. Okay? Now here's where the fun part comes in. It looks like an equation, but not one that you've ever seen before. Okay? So on the calculators at school, the yellow calculators, you push tangent 54 in your calculator, and I'll show you how to do that. And then you carry it out to 3 decimal places. So 1.376 is what tangent of 54 is. If you do this on your phone, pull up your calculator and turn your phone horizontally, and then it should say like sin cos tan is what you guys will say. So then you put in 54 and then hit tangent, and you should get 1.376. If it doesn't, then let me know and I'll show you what to fix. Okay, so now you just have an equation that you guys say, oh, we cross multiply or whatever. So since, the 10 is on bottom, we just multiply both sides by 10. We get 13.76 equals W, but it says to the nearest tenth. So we round it to 13.8. Okay, you have to follow the directions here. If you round something wrong, you will get a wrong answer. This is very technical stuff. It has to be precise. Okay, so when you do tangent of 54, I want 3 decimal places. It will change your answer. Okay, because if you would have said 1.4 here and then multiply by 10, you get 14 and not 13.8, and that's enough that could crash a machine in a factory. So we need to watch that kind of thing. Okay, also if you would have made this 1 instead of 1.4, you would have gotten 10, and 10's a long way from 13.8. So we want to watch how we round, okay? Tangent 54 goes to 3 decimal places. Final answer usually it goes to tenths. All right, let's try another one. So from the angle, so from 28, we go tangent 28 equals, opposite is 1.0, adjacent is W. So then we go to the calculator, we hit tangent 28, we get 0.532. So if you're on your phone, you hit 28 and then tangent and it'll do it. Alright, and then you cross multiply because that's what you guys know. So that would be 0.532W equals 1.0. And you divide both sides by 0.532. So we're going to take 1 divided by 0.532 and we're going to get 1.9 to the nearest tenth. Okay, if you would have made this number up here 0.5, you would have gotten 2. It's not a lot off, but it's still off. Okay, so I'm going to try to teach you the right way to do this. Alright, next round. This time I gave you both angles. Technically you have both angles on everything because once we have 2 angles of a triangle you can find the third. But we want to find this one to the nearest tenth. So let's say you used 57. So you'd hit tangent 57 equals, opposite is W, adjacent is 2.5, and then you do your math and go on. But you say, but I like 33 better. So I'm going to use 33. So do tangent 33, opposite is 2.5, adjacent is W. So now you look at it and you say, well, which equation's better? Which one actually does what I need it to do? The answer is both of them will give you the same answer. So up here, if I hit tangent 57, I get 1.540 when I go to 3 decimal places. Because this is 1.5398, so that kicks it up to 1.540. Okay? And then you multiply both sides by 2.5, and you get 3.9. Okay, so let's say you use the 33. You hit tangent 33, get 0.649, and then you multiply both sides by W when you cross multiply. And then you divide both sides by 0.649, and you get 3.9. So does it matter which way you do the problem? Because they give you the same answer. It just depends on how you look at it. Not one is not easier than the other. They're both the same. You just have to figure out which way you're going with it. Okay, now tangent can also be used to find angles. And that's the beauty of trigonometry. You can use it to find just about anything. Okay, I want to find the measure of angle X down here. And they already gave me all 3 sides of the triangle. So I would say tangent X, because I don't know what X is yet. And then we do opposite over adjacent, just like before. Opposite 6, adjacent 8. Now, to do this in your calculator is a little different. On my calculators at school, you hit second tangent and then 6 divided by 8. So it'll actually, let me get rid of this and I'll show you what this looks like. it'll actually say in your calculator tangent to the -1 and then 6 divided by 8 is what will actually say in your calculator. Okay? And when you do that, you get 37 degrees. If you do this on your phone, you take 6 divided by 8 and then you hit second tangent. So you kind of have to go backwards. But it should come out to be 37. If it doesn't, then you're in the wrong mode and I need to change the mode on your calculator. Okay, so let me know. Alright, so let's try one of these then. We're going to find the measure of angle y. So we do tangent y equals opposite over adjacent. Okay, so then we hit second tangent, and then 100 divided by 41, or 100 divided by 41, and then second tangent. And we get 68 degrees, because they tell us to go to the nearest degree. Okay, the math just got a lot more challenging, but it's still calculator work, so it's not too bad.